Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the now standing SolarQuotes Vodcast.
That's right.
And we're all a bit chilly because we've got our coats on. It must be winter.
Finally, it took a long time. God damn.
How you been, Ronald?
I've been wonderful. In fact, I had a very good day yesterday.
Why's that?
I had an excellent lunch.
Tell us more.
Oh, well, it was midday. I was hungry. I thought, I'll just eat some beans and go get lunch later and avoid the rush. So I sit here with the lights off because I like to sit in the dark.
I've noticed that.
Yes. And
Weirdo.
I open up the beans and I sit here eating my beans. And
Hang on. 4-star health rating.
yes, that's right.
Well done.
Thank you. And anyways, I'm sitting here eating my beans, and so half an hour goes by, and I see someone come up to the door, So I open up the door, and he hands me Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting this. I said, "Oh, is this for me?" And he says, "Yes." And then he leaves. So I looked at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's hot, fresh. So because I trust in human nature, I ate it. So all I can think of is someone saw me eating my beans through the plate glass windows, and felt sorry for me.
Look at that poor homeless man.
Yes!
Down to his last can of beans.
And so whoever did that, if you're watching this, yeah, I like beans, but it's not the only thing I can afford to eat. So please don't feel like you need to feed me. But thank you. I will buy you lunch if you show up again sometime.
You've got fans all over the place, Ronald.
I do.
Well done, mate. Let's start with this report that came out 8 days ago.
Yeah.
Commissioned by the Australian Energy Market Operator.
Mm-hmm. They must have paid a lot of money for that flash
128
report.
pages.
Well, yeah.
This is a report. They want to know what grid demand is going to be from solar, from batteries, from electric cars, going out to 2050.
That's a long way away. 31 years.
Yeah, it would have cost a lot of money, 128 pages.
Yeah. I'd charge at least $1 a page, so,
I was reading it last night on the way home on the train.
Oh, good stuff in it.
After my friend's cabaret performance.
Oh.
Let's stay
Life
focused.
is a cabaret.
Let's stay focused.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff, lots of good analysis. They really covered every base, I guess.
Well, the numbers looked a bit fishy to me. So I looked at where they were getting their numbers from. Mm-hmm. It said, see Appendix A. So I was like, Appendix A. I was like, what the actual fuck? Yeah, I think you've got the page I'm talking about there, Ronald.
Yes, actually I do. So, I'll hold it. You explain.
Okay. This is the government's latest report so they can plan the grid going forward and plan demand. 2018 prices to buy a solar PV system in Australia, fully installed, is going to cost you $2,200 per kilowatt.
It doesn't.
So what's that? 6.6 kilowatts would be like 14 grand.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying it from Modern Solar, which you shouldn't. That's ridiculous.
It's a crazy price. It's half that much.
It's half or less than half that.
Yeah.
So they've got the solar.
For a good quality solar.
They've got the cost of solar twice what it should be.
Look what it is still in 2050. Here, at the red line, they still got it more than it costs now.
They've still got it at like $1,400 in 2050.
I mean, yeah, that's nuts.
And then they got battery prices. They reckon less than $600 a kilowatt hour, packaged and fully installed on your home. 13.5 kilowatt hour Powerwall 2 right now is $16,000 installed.
Hell no.
Which is well over $1,000 per kilowatt hour.
That's insane.
So that's half what it should be. That's more than double what it should be. All the most of the calculations in this report are worthless.
Yes.
It's a fucking joke. This is what the government is. The government's in its little bubble with its consultants living in little bubbles in offices on York Street in Sydney, and they can't even be bothered to go to SolarQuotes, get 3 quotes, and see what systems actually cost. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, it's insane.
Anyway.
I looked up this source, actually, the CSIRO. They give us a source.
CSIRO, who's they?
They're pretty good guys. They work very hard, though. Anyway. That's
why I left.
Yeah. Anyway, they had a price of $600, but that's for a battery module. That's not to install it. I mean, when you buy a Powerwall, they don't turn up and put a battery module on your driveway and head out. You know, that's not how it's done. That's insane.
Oh well. Anyway, that little bitch out the way.
Yes. We get onto big bitches.
Let's talk about rooftop isolators.
The old fizzle boxes.
The Clean Energy Council has finally got on board with the rest of the industry, and thank you, CEC, pushing to ditch the requirement for rooftop isolators, which are the weakest link in almost any DC solar system.
Yep, that's right. I think the reason they're so slow is because, you know, they've actually improved the quality of the DC isolators, so they don't cause a massive dangerous failure as often as they used to. But it's still not a good idea to have them.
That's just stupid.
Yeah.
So that's good. But there looks like I can feel the momentum for getting rid of this stupid rule. And just to repeat what we've said before, New Zealand have exactly the same standard, but when they read it, they crossed out the bit that said rooftop isolators are mandatory, and I think their exact words were, "That's a stupid rule."
Yeah.
And for once, the Kiwis were right.
They've been right several times. Yeah. Let's give them credit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, especially when it comes to rugby.
This is Richard Churgwin, our new writer, who's a top bloke, lives off grid in the Blue Mountains. 28 comments, I think that says. So this is about, as you can see,
passionate comments.
Yes, from the really passionate techie people. So basically, what Richard's saying is that, for example, in the picture, if you have an inverter, let's call it a Fronius inverter, and you want to switch certain appliances on and off, but only when you have excess solar. So you might have a heater in winter. Doesn't matter really when it's on, you know, as long as it's on when it's cold. You say, well, you know what, if the sun goes behind a cloud and my solar output dips, I want to switch off the heater, maximize self-consumption, right? Really simple stuff. So you want your inverter to say, hey, smart switch, which you can get from Kogan for like $20 each, they cost nothing. Got Wi-Fi built in, switch off. Hey, smart plug, switch on. I mean, really, it's not difficult. No. But it shouldn't be difficult, should I say, but it's really hard to do because there's no standards.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, and I'll ask Richard to do a follow-up post based on the comments. All these solutions to doing it, like using this thing called OpenHab, there's apparently Reposit does it. I'm glad it does something well. There's all these kind of hacky and not so hacky solutions to doing this, but it's really much more complicated than it should be. It's ridiculous. So
is hacking an issue? Like, will people in Kyrgyzstan be able to take over control of your appliances?
If you put them on an insecure Wi-Fi network, sure.
Right. Okay. So don't do that then.
So yeah, really interesting that we're in this 10-year-old solar industry, and it's still very not straightforward to switch on and off an appliance based on how much excess solar you've got. I mean, even the Tesla charger. So you buy a Tesla car, you get a free wall charger with the car, which I think they deliver a few weeks before the car. You get it installed. It's just a dumb charger. You can schedule it when to switch on, but apparently you can't schedule it when to switch off.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't tell it to only charge the car when you've got excess solar. Now, whether you want to do that or not is a moot point, depending on feed-in tariffs and stuff. One point I would say is that you're actually no greener charging your car directly from solar than charging it from the grid and exporting the solar. People get that the wrong way around. But it's a really simple thing to implement. And we've got a YouTube video of a guy there that hacked his Tesla charger to do it. So, yeah, just amazing that it's so hard to charge stuff from excess solar and maximize self-consumption.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Let's do it. This is one for you, Ronald. I know you get passionate about coal clunkers. Victoria's coal-fired clunkers, NEM's most unreliable. The coal-fired power stations in Victoria are the most unreliable in the national energy market.
Yes. The interesting thing is the national energy market was made for coal power stations, and now that they're so unreliable, the national electricity market can't handle that unreliability, so they've tacked another electricity market on top of that, which apparently is not a problem.
Sounds complicated.
Yes, but, making concessions or doing things to help renewables integrate into the grid, that's all on renewables. Anyway, I shouldn't complain. It's only human life that's at stake. Yeah, so these old clunkers, they're unreliable, and...
So what should we do about it?
Well, close them down. It's obvious, because the pollution kills people. The greenhouse gases they emit are bad for the environment, bad for the planet, and they're old.
How do we close them down without blackouts?
You build solar capacity, you build wind capacity, and because these are variable in output, you have some form of dispatchable power which you could switch on and off when you need it. This could be pumped hydro. This could be gas turbines. Gas turbines use gas. That's not great. But if it lets you shut down a coal power station now, the environmental benefit and health benefits far outweigh the negative effects of occasionally running some gas turbines.
So we should be building dispatchable power in anticipation of these closing down, not as a reaction to, oh
yes.
Shit, we've just shut that coal-fired power station down, let's run and get some gas turbines and some diesel engines and some pumped hydro, which takes a long time to build.
Yeah, you start building your pumped hydro now, you buy some second-hand gas turbines from overseas, and you shut down the worst clunker now. Maybe you have to shift these gas turbines around, then you shut down the next one while you're expanding your solar and wind capacity. And it's not expensive. It's because we're saving money on health costs, and we're going to be saving money on environmental costs as well.
But our energy minister, Angus Taylor...
Well, he's an energy minister. He must know a lot about this.
He must, and he says we don't have to do anything. We'll just
we'll
get to 50% renewables, and it'll all be tickety-boo.
We
don't need a plan.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So...
Well, I feel much reassured now.
Yeah, don't know why we bother even talking about all this stuff.
Definitely.
Worst review of the week. This is a shocker.
Sounds fun.
I'm amazed it's got 2 stars, actually. After inquiring about one panel, the panel does not have water on it when it rains, and all the other panels have water beading up. Now, I don't know if that's a big issue or not, but this person, Brian, has bought a system and he's concerned. I was told, next time it rains, I need to climb up on my roof and take a photo and send it into them. I was also told it's only been up for 1 month, so it should be fine. I think we'll stop there.
Yeah. So,
Brian, don't climb up on your roof and take a picture in the rain.
No.
Sounds really dangerous.
Yes.
And I've just left the first two lines of the second review. I've had solar panels combust, which they would not cover. Insurance did. 3 times inverters fail and have wasted many months of replacement. So, I don't know, use the word combust, that sounds pretty spectacular.
Yeah, when you think maybe the DC isolator caught on fire, but
I don't know.
Who knows? That's a worry.
So I clicked on our new Oz ranking feature for this company.
Right. So I presume they're below average?
But before I did that, I clicked on the timeline to see how they've been doing since over time, getting better, getting worse.
Yep, it's a good plan.
They're getting worse.
Yeah.
According to the reviews on our site. And then I clicked on the Oz ranking feature, which shows you where they rank as a percentile compared to all the other solar installers reviewed on our site, clients, non-clients.
I'm betting it's below 50%.
Ooh, in the bottom 4% of all solar companies reviewed based on average score.
Yeah, that's not great.
So personally, I would not choose to go with this company based on those metrics.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll tell my sister not to go with them.
Does she live in Perth?
No.
She probably won't anyway. They're Perth-based.
Yeah.
Best review of the week. These are clients called Goliath Solar, based here in Adelaide. Fun fact, owned by a guy called David.
Yes.
I think that's amusing. Really good guys. So Sam says, professional from start to finish. The team from Goliath were excellent during the entire installation process. Tom was very informative throughout the whole process, gave regular updates. Panels are looking great and already generating great returns. Great local business worth supporting. Goliath Solar, a smallish business, just fanatical about install quality, about customer service, and really reasonably priced. So, what's not to like?
Yeah.
Should we see whether they've got better or worse over time?
Sure.
You click on the timeline. from August 2015. Bit of a rough start.
That's hardly rough compared to the last guy we looked at,
but
yeah,
just getting better and better and better. Like
Yep.
closing in on 5 stars average, which is phenomenal.
Woohoo.
So that's a really nice story for those guys.
Good
Well done,
work.
David and Tom at Goliath.
Yeah.
Should we look where they are? Oz ranking,
Yes, we shall.
top 4%.
Oh,
Whereas
excellent.
the other ones were the bottom 4%. So
Yes.
yeah, just doing a great job. Awesome. Get ready for Victoria's solar power rebate subsidy.
Yeah.
Round 2. Hang on. Why is it not a rebate?
Because a rebate is when you get money back after spending it.
Right.
Subsidy is when the money is taken off what you pay. So, yeah, they've changed it.
So the Victorian government's calling it a rebate when it's a subsidy.
But that's probably because they called it a rebate before, because it was a rebate before.
Fair enough.
So they probably didn't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
They're only confusing people like me.
So on July the 1st in Victoria, the Victorian solar rebate worth $2,255? $25.
25, yeah.
$2,225 is back.
Whoa.
You can apply from the 1st of July, then you need to get an eligibility number if you're accepted, then you get your install done. You can get quotes before that. So that's a few interesting things. They announced the solar panel rebate. They announced a almost $5,000 battery rebate, but only in 24 postcodes. So that's going to have an interesting effect on the battery market over there, because I would have thought that Victorians have already factored in the $5,000 off their battery. And then if they don't live in one of the 24 postcodes, they're going to be less likely to pay full price for a battery for many years to come.
Yeah, good point.
So I wonder if they've actually hurt the battery industry in Victoria.
Yes.
Who knows? We'll find out.
Yes, there are. I think there are definitely better ways to have designed these.
There'll be 1,000 battery rebates per year and only in 24 postcodes. Smacks me of being massively overcomplicated.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I think Victoria is going to be a shit fight for the next 12 months. They are capping the solar panel rebate at around 3,000 installs a month. So I'm not sure what's going to happen when they run out. I guess you'll have to wait till the first of the next month to even apply.
Yeah, that's a really bad way to do it.
It's just going to make life really confusing. It's just going to throw a spanner in the works, and it's going to be a nightmare. The Victorian solar market would have been better off if the Victorian Labour government had just stayed out, I think.
Probably, I'd say no, but the way they're doing it is really bad, because if your goal is to get more solar installed, then you don't want to be stopping and starting, because people, yeah, you're limiting the amount of solar which is going to be installed by the stop and start. You should have just had a lower rebate or subsidy and just let it go for everyone, and then it'd be simple. Have less compliance costs, and everyone would be happy. Installers be happy, Victorians be happy, but now it's a headache.
Yeah, they should have kept it really, really simple.
Having less benefit than it would.
They should have made it lower, and they should have kept it really, really simple.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing, talking to Victorian solar installers, they're putting the administrative burden and the cash flow burden of the subsidy rebate onto the installer.
Yeah.
And that has a real cost to installers.
Yeah.
So the guys that want to have a healthy business are saying, we can't pass on the whole $2,225. We've got to keep some of that because of cash flow, because of admin. And I think that's valid. So
it's a business.
Yeah. So they'll do that by pushing up the pre-subsidy prices, I imagine.
Yeah. Not passing on any falls in hardware costs and so on.
Yeah, so I think it's a bit of a dog's breakfast in Victoria. I think Solar Victoria, very well intentioned, but just making it way too complicated.
Yeah.
Oh well. That's what
Other states don't copy them.
Yeah, don't copy Victoria. Yeah. It's hard work.
Better ways.
We have to switch our advertising on, switch it off. That's easy to do compared to the poor old solar installers that are having to have much more disruption to their business. Let's move on from Victoria.
Yes.
Let's move on to torture.
Yes. Horrible torture.
Solar panel reliability scorecard for 2019. Torture testing.
Ask them.
So you read the report, so everyone else doesn't have to. What did you learn?
Okay. The interesting thing is there's a lot of Indian panel manufacturers getting top performer results. There are 3 now, and I can't think of any in the past, but I could be wrong there. I'm sure they were there, they just didn't...
Vikram Solar?
Vikram, definitely.
Boviet?
Boviet, yes. So, and everyone's favourite company, Adani.
Don't swear.
I wasn't
Oh, no, I swear all the time on this podcast. So you can.
Adani.
Any relation
Munda.
to the coal mine?
Well, you'd expect that Adani is a common Indian name and there'd be no connection between the coal hole Adani and the solar Adani, but no, hardly anyone's called Adani in India. And you think they need lots of names there, but nope, same company, he's having a bet each way. Coal and solar, yes.
Interesting.
Because solar is now cheaper than new coal in India, unless you're really well connected and you get an increase in what you can charge for coal power, which in India, Adani managed to do. Lucky him.
So which panels?
These billionaires need help sometimes.
So which panels did well, Ronald?
GCL, which is a big Chinese manufacturer, and I said to you that, when they came out, we weren't too sure about the quality of them. There were rumours that GCL stood for glass comes loose, but I said that they're a huge company. They're going to do what it takes to improve the quality. And I think this is evidence, good, excellent evidence that they have done that.
Because they're not on our recommended panel brands at the moment.
No.
Too many unknowns.
Yeah, too many. They're new in Australia, so they've got to, for all we know, they're sending their crappy ones here. We've got to check that out.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah. If you have a strong opinion on them, let us know.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always looking for that. I mean, the best intelligence is from the guys in the field and the guys selling them.
So they did 4 tests. Thermal cycling, which you'd know all about. It's when you get hot when you're riding your bicycle.
I get hot and sweaty when I'm cycling to work.
Definitely. And damp heat, that's when you stick your panel in the oven at high humidity to simulate having a panel installed in Darwin or Townsville. Dynamic mechanical load is when panels flex in the wind, or snow in some places, but not much of that here.
Cool.
PID, stray electrical currents causing your panel to degrade. Anyway, GCL, they got top performer results in all of those tests.
Wow. That's pretty good.
That's excellent, which means they degraded less than 2% after going through a really tough testing process for each of them. JA Solar, same, and Longi, same. Excellent work, you 3 guys. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean every panel you get from them will do this well in the test, but it does show they know how to make panels that last. So it's good evidence their panels will be good. And the next group, Adani, all 3 of the Indian manufacturers are in the next group where they got 3 top performer results out of the 4 tests. And you can see Rec Solar, Hanwha Q cells, and so on. And I have to point out, a question mark there just means we don't know how good the panel is, because they don't tell us which panels fail or do badly, or even if they were tested at all. So for all we know, Z-Shine could be as good as JA Solar or GCL. They just weren't tested. However, we can say the 3 at the top are good. So that's something.
Interesting.
So, yes. You probably have to pay a lot of money to PVEL to get the detailed information, and you'd have to keep that confidential and not blab about it on some sort of video post on the internet.
You'd never do that.
Let's say you'd be better off keeping that confidential report away from me, just to be certain.
Okay, moving on quickly, because we're talking too much this week.
We are.
I published this yesterday. Good People Making Bad Decisions, a community solar case study. So I'm a member of the Alternative Technology Association, now called Renew. I read their magazine called Renew Magazine every month.
Very good.
And I read this. This was a submission from a homeowner to the Renew Magazine, and I was just, oh man, no. Cut a long story short, the chap lives in a house that takes 30 to 40 kilowatt hours to heat or cool.
Yes, that's a lot.
So it's obviously a terrible thermal envelope. And one of the first things he did was spend 13 grand on a community solar, I think 7.5 kilowatt hour battery.
Okay.
Which is just a really silly thing to do. And he even says in the article that now he's depleted his capital, it's going to be a long time until he can afford to do the thermal improvements, which are going to stop him actually using the energy in the first place. So, I mean, that's all I'll say on it. I just thought, oh no. And I just think it's a symptom of everyone, technology fetishism over batteries.
Yeah.
Batteries are great, they're going to be important, but you shouldn't be buying them over and above just basic efficiency upgrades to your homes. And most Australian homes, let's be honest, need those efficiency upgrades.
Yeah. Can I use my father's wisdom here? It comes up so rarely that I can use his wisdom. You do the things that save you money first. So that would be, in this case, insulation and so forth. Batteries, not likely to save you money. If you want a battery, you leave it to last. So you get your solar panels in, you get your insulation in, maybe you get more efficient appliances, you change to LED lights and so forth. And then, once you've saved all that money, you've got more money now, then you can think, oh, well, I want to play around with the battery so I can spend the money on that, even if it doesn't save me money, it's okay, because I've saved so much money everywhere else, I can afford it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes, his example was cars. Ronald, drive a shit car. Just don't buy a car on credit. You don't borrow money to buy a car. You just put that into the business, or if you don't have a business, get one. What are you doing with your life? That was more the way he put it.
Good old Mr. Brackles.
That's right.
Okay. Lastly, let's go outside Solar Quotes to a website called Teslarati.
Teslarati?
Teslarati.
Sounds excellent.
Bit like karate.
Hey. Sumo.
Well, we're standing up. We might as well get hand movements in. Tesla Energy makes headway in customer acquisition costs, drops in US rankings. So what was interesting about that is the numbers they were giving for cost for acquisition of a customer in the US solar market. How much do you think the biggest residential solar company in America pays to acquire a customer per watt? So say they're selling a 10 kilowatt solar system. How much do you think they pay to acquire that customer?
I know it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So I'm going to say it's 10% of their system, which, since their systems are expensive, 30 cents a watt?
90 US cents.
Ouch!
So that's $9,000
Yeah.
to acquire a customer for a 10 kilowatt solar system.
That you can buy a 10 kilowatt system.
For 9,000.
For 9,000 American dollars, yeah. You can buy a bigger one.
You can buy a 15 kilowatt solar
Yeah.
system. Isn't that insane?
That is completely nuts. It's crazy.
So that's one of the reasons why Australian solar is so cheap compared to the US, is the customer acquisition costs, which is something that Solar Quotes helps a lot of companies with, are so low. Yes. Our clients, it varies depending on how well they can sell, but they should be acquiring a customer for about 3 US cents, I reckon, a watt, compared to 90.
Yes.
Tesla are doing really well. I think it said they've got it down to about 45 US cents.
Yeah, but they've spent a lot of money building up their pizzazz.
Yeah.
They're big on pizzazz, Tesla.
So you can feel good, Ronald.
Yes.
When you write those stupid jokes, lots of people read. Some of those people go and get quotes for solar, and you're helping keep the cost of Australian solar the cheapest in the world.
Right. So I could go to the United States and demand some sort of big wage or something.
Elon Musk might give you a job writing for their blog.
Oh,
You've written so many nice things about Tesla.
I don't know. He won't let me join my union of one. I'll be, I'm quite proud of my union.
So on that happy note, goodbye from Solar Quotes. Keeping solar prices competitive.
Yes.
Compared to the rest of the world.
Yes. I gave you the eye of the tiger when you did the cartoon karate on me, so, you can see it when you watch it,
I look forward to it.